welcome back to Freeform Lifestyle. Thank you for joining me for another week of what we've eaten using my Ninja 15-in-1 foodie. I'm still making the majority of my meals using this machine and actually finding it easier each week as I get more and more used to all the different functions and modes on this. This week we've enjoyed some absolutely delicious food, and to kick off my first recipe, I'm going to be sharing with you my treacle pudding. I made this for when I had family coming over and everybody absolutely loved it. I've started off by greasing my bowl that I'm going to pressure cook this in. We want 6 tablespoons. I'm using a soft brown sugar here, and we need 175 grams, so equal amounts of butter and sugar. Let's put that under here and we can start mixing that together. I've got 3 eggs, so just gonna put in 1 egg at a time. That will then start combining together. Into here we need self-raising flour, 175 grams. You're also going to want to use a teaspoon of baking powder. And now for the indulgent bit. It's hard to measure this out because it is so sticky, but just go for it. That is the best way, I think, with this. Just a slow mix. And that'll all start to come together very quickly. Let's get that batter in the bowl on top of the lovely golden syrup that we've got in there. We've got a layer of parchment paper, grease paper, whatever you want to call it, and then some kitchen foil. We want to pleat it in the middle, and that's just so that it can expand. Pop that over your bowl. Now just cut off the excess string, and then also just go around the edge and cut off any extras that are hanging down. You want just your Ninja pot in here, and then add 500 millilitres of water. And then in with your rack, so that's just the bottom section of the rack. And then we can place the pudding on top. And we want to keep this on high, and we want the natural release. And I'm going to pop this on for 40 minutes. Let that steam out. Oh, I can see in the side there, it looks really light and airy. Oh, look at that. Oh, smells like absolute heaven. And in the bottom, remember, we have got all of that gorgeous golden syrup. This one is an autumnal classic, and I absolutely loved this version. So I make loads of cottage pies, but I've never ever made one in my Ninja. I have to tell you, this was so delicious. This is one I'd definitely make as well if I had people coming over and I needed to make a big meal that wasn't going to be too stressful for me. Then this is a winner. We're going to do this in 2 steps, and to start with, it's going to be cooking these potatoes. That's 1.2 kilograms of potato. Pour that straight over your potatoes, and that is 700 millilitres. Now we're going to pop the lid down, and then we're going to get this pressure cooked. So I want to pressure cook this on high for 10 minutes, and we want a quick release. So I've got some bacon. If you've got some bacon lardons, then you can use them. Now I've got a couple of carrots, so we just need to prep those. When my mashed potato is done later, I fancied adding a little bit of cheese to the top, and I've got this Gruyere left over, so why not use that instead of cheddar? I think that'll melt love. I've got some diced shallot here out of the freezer, so I'm going to be using that today, but if not, just dice up an onion. We've added so much flavour by having that stock in there. When you do this, just be really careful because it's so hot. Keep it really simple. I'm going to add some butter, and then I'm also going to add some very indulgent cream. Add a little bit of salt and just mash these up. They don't take much mashing. They are lovely and soft. Right, back to my pot now, and I'm going to put some spray oil in here. and that is on the sear and saute option. I'm going to start off by adding my bacon because we want to get this nicely cooked and a little bit crisp. Pop that in as well. Also going to pop in the celery or in the onion. It's all diced up nice and finely. Starting to smell really, really good. I'm just going to break this up as we're cooking it, and we want to get this so that it is slightly brown. Doesn't have to be fully cooked, we're not trying to do that here. Teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of basil, half a teaspoon of paprika. We want 1 teaspoon of garlic granules or garlic powder, and then also a teaspoon of Italian dried mixed herbs. And then the last thing is a 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground black pepper. This is completely optional at this stage, but I'm gonna put in a glug splash. I haven't got a quantity for that, it's just a little bit of red wine. We had some open. I'm just going to let that cook down because we don't want the alcohol left in this dish, but it does add a depth of flavour. I've now turned off the sear and saute. I'm going to go in with frozen sweet corn and around 3/4 of a cup of this beef stock that we saved from earlier. Want to make sure that we've got enough liquid because we're actually going to pressure cook this. High. Again, we want a quick release like we had before, making sure the valve is sealed, and I'm going to go with 7 minutes on high. The mashed potato looks really good. Obviously it's darker in colour because I used that beef stock, but I have tasted this and I'm telling you it's absolutely delicious, full of flavour. Pressure was released and this is what we are now left with. So it's a little bit liquidy, which is what I was expecting. So you could put this onto sear and saute and thicken it up. Of course, you could add a little bit of corn flour, or you could just add some gravy granules. I think I'm gonna go with some gravy granules because my son absolutely loves them. Now we just need to add the mash, add our cheese over the top. I've had this on bake for nearly 15 minutes and look how beautifully crispy and yummy that top looks. Let's dive right in and serve up a portion of this gorgeous cottage pie. This recipe is a great air fryer classic, lovely and crispy on the outside and lovely and soft in the middle. These are halloumi fries cooked in my Ninja. Okay, so I've got my piece of halloumi here and we want to just cut this so that we get some nice finger-sized pieces. Now what I'm going to do is crack an egg in this bowl, like so. And the egg is just going to basically help the breadcrumbs to stick. These are nice and crunchy, which is what we want for the outside. We want that texture, don't we? So into that we want to season it. So I pop some salt and then some black pepper. And I'm going to go with some smoked paprika as well. Really, you can add anything to this. If you want them a little bit hot, maybe a little bit of cayenne would be really nice. Halloumi into the egg, like that. Make sure it's well covered. Drain off any excess just by giving it a little shake like that. And then into those breadcrumbs, and look at that. It's sticking really easily. Yeah, look at that. Nicely coated. Right, now to finish the rest. They're all done, so let's get those in the air fryer. So let's place them in. Make sure you're leaving a little bit of space around the outside because that's really going to help them crispen up. We're going to go with 170, 15 minutes. I will give them a little check just to make sure that that's not going to overdo them. Crispy coating. Oh, that's really tender and soft. Look at that, just breaking apart there. How delicious do these look? So I've got slightly less recipes to share with you this week, purely because some of my recipes haven't been ones that I've made in the Ninja. Of course, go and check out those recipes too. But this last one was great because it was a 3-part meal. First time that I've done this. And we managed to layer potatoes, sausages and carrots. Ended up with a lovely sausage and mash in gravy with the vegetables, and it was really yummy. So this is a really easy method to follow, so I think you're all going to really like this one. I'm going to put the potatoes right in the very bottom. So there you go there. So I've just literally got the pot in here. I've made some vegetable stock. Of course, you could literally just put water into this if you prefer, but I've got 500 millilitres of veggie stock going in. So this is the rack that I have prepared. So in the bottom, so the middle, we have got the carrots. Potatoes are going to be underneath, and then we've got the sausages on top. There you go. Just trying to make sure that goes right down to the bottom, but that's fine. We fitted everything in, and I've got a lot in here. You could even fit a few more sausages on top here if you needed to. And we've got combi steam. So this is the middle setting that we're on, and we want to select steam meals. And I'm going to turn that temperature down to 190, and this is only going to take 14 minutes. Whoa, look at those sausages. I didn't think they were going to have that much colour on them. I thought they might look a little bit anemic, but they look great. Right, let's get everything else out. Let's go over to the potatoes. Oh, look at them. They are so soft. Just using my knife to go in there. They are perfect. I'm now going to drain those and we can mash them. The mashed potato literally is so soft. It took hardly any butter or milk to go in this. Absolutely delicious. So lovely large portion of mash there. We can grab some carrots, pop those on the plate, and then a couple of sausages, and then I'm going to pour over some lovely thick gravy. If you've been watching this video considering getting yourself a Ninja Foodi 15-in-1, I've got a link below in my description to Amazon, and Amazon always have really good deals. I'm really enjoying my Ninja still, and I hope you are enjoying these videos. If you have, then remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you're not already. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss another video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week for another episode of What We've Eaten.